on 24 points, followed by the Irishman Bertie Fisher on 16, with Malcolm Wilson and Jimmy McRae tying in third place with 15 points. This year, the start of the Welsh Rally was through Cardiff, and the route headed north over the tarmac stages of the Epynt military ranges of the Brecon Beacons, the forest of Esgaerdydd, Hafren and Mehurin, before arriving at Aberystwyth for a 4-hour rest halt. Then through the forests of Dyfi onto Dolgellau and Machynlleth before heading back south via the Brecfa forest to Carmarthen. Then eastwards through Swansea to the finish back at Cardiff. And it's in the historic and picturesque setting of Cardiff Castle that our report now starts. Malcolm Wilson's co-driver Nigel Harris was of course joking. Recce's are strictly forbidden on all 3 mainland events of the Open Championship, which arguably leaves foreigners like Michel Mouton at something of a disadvantage. Toyota's Swedish star Per Eklund at least has a British co-driver, and Dave Whittock is busy here helping Per tackle the first special stage in Cardiff's Bute Park. Scotsman Jimmy McRae also uses an English co-driver, which could be considered something of a disadvantage in Wales. Returning to his familiar Group A Toyota Corolla GT after debuting the much larger Supra on the circuit of Ireland, Eklund is on his first run over Epynt's military ranges at the infamous Four Ways Bridge, which has already witnessed the demise of the rally's course opening car. Eklund is here being overhauled by McRae's more powerful Group B Opel. After his Irish disappointment, McRae's teammate Brooks is quietly determined to get his revenge on this one. And keen to put his Irish disappointment behind him, first-round winner Malcolm Wilson heads for fastest time here in Bute Park. While on Epynt, Terry Cavy's Nissan traverses territory that's familiar to the majority of British rally drivers, particularly Welshman and birthday boy David Llewellyn, who with his English co-driver Phil Short is immediately on the pace in his Audi Quattro. Second in the championship, Irishman Bertie Fisher in his Opel Manta is destined for a short and fraught event. A misfire here on Epynt spells doom. At last, an all-English combination. Tony Pond, Rob Arthur and the Rover Vitesse. And now a French Peugeot, a Finnish driver, and yes, a British co-driver. Sundstrom and White in the Group A 205. Phil Collins has made Epynt something of a speciality in recent years, and with 270 horsepower, he's had little trouble in overhauling Hoglin's 140 horsepower Skoda 130. And now enter stage left, an astonishing combination set to stretch the imagination. A Yorkshire Lord and an Audi Quattro. Take a bow, Chris. Meanwhile, the leaders have completed their first run over Epynt. A grimly determined Brooks has shouldered his way to the front.
I think we've got something like an 8-second lead over Jimmy. I think it's useful for us to try and pull out as much time as we can on the tarmac Epynt stages, because it's going to be very, very difficult to beat the Quattros in the forest, and the real big joker at the moment is dust. Michelle will have a clear road. If the wind dies down this evening, it's going to be very, very difficult for the cars following her.
Dafydd hill climb and Michel Mouton and an Italian co-driver Fabrizio Pons are trying hard to regain lost time now that the Quattro is back on gravel. With forceful driving, Brooks just retains his advantage. Although his teammate McRae steals back 3 seconds here. Spectacular and second fastest at Dafydd, Wilson's Dunlop-shot Audi lies in 3rd place. Back on the ranges once more, and Brooks' steely commitment and vast experience are obvious. His lead stretches to 19 seconds. Michel Mouton's down-on-powered engine is compounding the Quattro's tarmac disadvantage. He's down in 7th place. After setting fastest time over Dafydd, David Llewellyn is 4th and making a big impression. Having repaired a faulty distributor between special stages, Teddy Caby's Nissan 240 RS is back in the hunt. Auricula's co-driver is decidedly under the weather, so Penty has a very special reason for wanting to charge through this stage just as quickly as he possibly can.
I think my driving is quite bad because Colin is a bit sick.
Is this normal for a co-driver?
In my case, yes. Now, seriously, it hasn't happened to him before, and so I don't know.
So what can you do?
Of course, carry on, of course. Just, it's a bit of smelly, but it's all right.
Into the forest again, and even though he's back on the loose, Brooks is hard at work proving that a two-wheel drive Opel can stay at the front even in Quattro country. He sets a superb fastest time over 21 miles of Hafren Forest. Stuck in 2nd gear for over half that mileage, a worried Wilson drops 1.5 minutes. While McRae drops a further 11 seconds behind Brooks. Michel Mouton's down-on-powered engine has been joined by gear selection difficulties, and she's in 5th place behind her young teammate David Llewellyn, who is upholding Audi fortunes in 2nd place behind Brooks. In Hafren Forest, he's just 1 second slower than the leader. Behind this intense battle raging between Mantas and Quattros, Teddy Caby's Nissan is in 6th place, just ahead of Tony Pond's Computer Vision Rover, which is comfortably leading Group A, despite numerous minor problems. Hurling the diminutive Peugeot downhill to great effect is Michael Sundström. He's 11th overall and leading Eklund in the Duckham's Toyota, which has lost almost 3 minutes with a puncture in Hafren Forest. Sadly for Per, it won't be his last. Comfortably leading his class despite a transmission failure early on is Hogland Skoda as the cars head towards Aberystwyth and a 4-hour break.
We've just lost nearly 2 minutes in Hafren. The gear linkage broke and we had to do 17 miles in 2nd gear. So We're considerably. I think we're about 1.5 minutes now behind Russell, I think.
Dawn on Sunday morning, and Russell Brooks' gargantuan efforts to stay in the lead have been dashed by 2 punctures, and there are even worse misfortunes in store. So after a string of 5 consecutive fastest times over the rally's northern loop, the new leader is Malcolm Wilson. The advent of rain and consequent slippery conditions comes as a further boost to Quattro runners. Michel Mouton is now third as McRae tries to recover from 2 punctures and a costly overshoot which damaged the steering rack. Over 3 minutes were lost and the Scotsman is down to 4th, fighting back hard. Tony Pond is now 5th, a full 5 minutes ahead of his nearest Group A rival. The big rover being nursed through the forest with obvious care. Despite a hectic charge from Eklund, which takes him from 17th to 9th, the Toyota's progress is continually frustrated by punctures. The team eventually recording 5 in all, more on this one event than in the previous 2 seasons.
Very, very muddy. Some places 2 inches of mud.
Did you have any funny moments yourself?
No, we slowed down to see if we could have done anything with Russell. He's off in the mud. Then 2 or 3 corners after that, we spun as well and almost went off. But we've got no problem since then.
Where does this leave you now?
I think we're third, just a few seconds behind Michelle. But she's taking time out just now, the stage has been so muddy.
Brooks' retirement puts David Llewellyn back up to 4th place. The talented Welshman had initially dropped to 7th spot after losing 4 minutes on the 13-mile Derby stage with an electronics failure. And his charge back up the field takes him past Pond, who remains a secure and untroubled 5th. After disappearing down the notorious firebreak in Derby Forest, Teddy Cabey has recovered to take 6th place ahead of Chris Lord's sadly battered Quattro, the Yorkshireman having rolled his car at the same spot. Finishing in 8th place and 2nd in Group A are Michael Sundstrom and Paul White in the Peugeot 205 GTI, a great result. Final stage action at Pembrey near Swansea. Malcolm Wilson's lead has stretched to almost 4 minutes, and he's 2nd fastest here despite a spin. But there's last-minute drama for Michel Mouton. She's clipped a corner, and the punctured tyre is in the process of peeling off the rim. Happily, she's able to finish her first such experience for over a year. Teddy Cabey manages to miss both her and her tyre. McRae has hit the same corner, and the AC Delco Manta limps to the finish, all but caught in the dying moments by Llewellyn, who closes the gap between them to just 8 seconds. No such problems for Tony Pond's Dunlop shod Rover Vitesse. Pembrey's wide open spaces giving the driver a chance to entertain the vast crowds, although he naturally takes a shortcut across the grass when the opportunity presents itself. Celebration time at Cardiff Castle, and another fine drive from Malcolm Wilson has brought a win which must have been nerve-wracking, since he was aware that a head gasket had failed in his engine and the car would probably not have completed another special stage. If anyone deserves a slice of luck, it's Malcolm. So another 15 points for Malcolm Wilson, now back into the championship lead with 30 points in all. 5 ahead of Scotsman Jimmy McRae, with Russell Brooks